President Claudia Sheinbaum has slammed Washington's latest decisions to suspend livestock imports as exaggerated. Just 2 days after trade had resumed following a previous halt, let's listen into what she had to say.
Hubo un caso en Veracruz que se encontró y de inmediato se está atendiendo, como bien lo dice el director de Senacica, llegan veterinarios, hay un equipo, hay un protocolo de atención, se liberan las moscas que son estériles para que no se propague pues esta plaga. Entonces, se están haciendo todos los protocolos. Ayer, pues, al saber que había un caso en Veracruz, desde nuestro punto de vista, pues toma una decisión totalmente exagerada el volver a cerrar la frontera. De todas maneras, nosotros ¿qué hacemos? Pues de inmediato vuelven a trabajar los equipos técnicos para mostrar pues que está bajo control y que están. De todas maneras, el secretario está en contacto permanente con la secretaria de Agricultura y esperamos pues que muy pronto vuelva a abrirse la frontera.
The U.S. move came after officials confirmed a new case of Screwworm, a dangerous flesh-eating pest in Mexico's eastern state of Veracruz. President Donald Trump's administration said the decision was necessary to protect U.S. agriculture, with Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins insisting more progress was needed in containment. But Sheinbaum pushed back, saying Mexico had already activated emergency protocols, including treatment of affected herds and the use of sterile flies to halt the larvae's spread. The livestock ban is just the latest flashpoint in rising tensions between the two neighbors, already strained over U.S. tariffs and Trump's crackdown on immigration. Mexico exported over 1 million cattle to the U.S. in 2024. This is the second such halt in recent years due to screwworm outbreaks. Now we go back to our guest discussion with Shruti Dasgupta. Thank you, Shruti, for staying with us. Is President Sheinbaum right to call Washington's renewed suspension of livestock imports exaggerated, or are U.S. concerns over health and safety justified, according to you?
Well, the safety concerns are justified because this is a flesh-eating viral fly larvae, and they tend to infect not just other cattle, as in horse and cows, but they can infect pets as well as humans. So the concern is very valid, and the U.S. has struggled with trying to control this kind of a viral spread in the past. They shut down, as you said, this entire trade with Mexico in November, and it was opened again now in May when the sterile flies were released, so that there are no more of such flesh-eating larvae, because the female fly only mates once in its life, and if a sterile fly, which is made sterile in labs, is then released and allowed to mate with those flies, then the reproduction of these NWS, New World screwworms, is reduced. So the USDA has been working with Mexico to control this, but a single case that has been reported caused the blocks to come back on, and these blocks have affected Mexican trade with America very, very largely. Mexico's large section of its economy is dependent on agricultural trade with USA, and it has been suffering with the tariffs as well as the bans. And so they are trying to show that we're doing everything we can. This is a desperate plea by the president of Mexico when she says that I am doing the best that I can. There's only one reported case, and we are trying to sterilize all the cows and herds that seem to be under the effect of the infected zone. So she's trying her best to convince them not to stop trade again, but to merely postpone it. There were, I think, 5 more ports that were supposed to open this month, and this current pause has affected those, and it affects the farmers, it affects the people, the livelihood of a large number of Mexicans, and this is, of course, on both sides it is justified, the Mexicans' frustrations as well as the US caution. So it's something that the US should consider as a bigger country, more richer country. They should be the bigger person and say, okay, we'll pause it, we'll postpone it and wait and watch, rather than just completely dismantle the structures and have Mexico start all over again. The caution is justified, the action is not.
Thank you very much, Shruti, for sharing that insight. You will stay with us as we stay on the topic. A federal judge has once again